Welcome to Mornings with Patty. Today I'm reading from The Courage to Change. It's July 14th, and it's going to take a lot of courage to change this one thing. The topic is making amends. I didn't know how great a burden my guilt was until I made amends and gained release from it. I never wanted to face the harm I'd done in the past. Consequently, without knowing it, I carried guilt with me most of the time. Making amends has helped me to put the past behind me and move on with a clear conscience. My self-esteem has grown ever since, and I feel much better about myself, but I had a problem. The person I felt I owed the most amends to is no longer living. Deep in my heart, I knew she had understood and forgiven me, but I could not forgive myself for the harm I had done. How could I make amends? After much prayer and thought, I realized that I couldn't change the past. All I could do was change my present behavior. Now, when I feel tempted to shirk a responsibility, I can remember my friend and reconsider my choice. Each time I talk to somebody new or share my story, I am making an amends to my friend. I can't make past wrongs disappear, but I can take actions that will help me to let them go. When I make amends, I do what I can to correct the situation. Then I can put the past in its rightful place and leave it there. In the mid-90s, it took me a long time to get to this place because I had so much shame about everything I had done in my life. And I had to make a list of all persons I had harmed and be willing to make amends to them. And there was this one person I needed to make an amends to. It was my first husband, and I did some things that were unconscionable. And I had so much guilt, but I didn't know what had happened to him. And so I was like, okay, God, I really need to make amends to this person, but I didn't know how. And I had this whole list that I was working through about the people that I had harmed, starting with myself, of all the crazy things that I had done and unconsciously. So one day I got into my car. I was going to the optician's office to get my eyes checked, and I heard this song on the radio from Christopher Cross Sailing. I don't know if you remember it, and it took me back to my first husband and how sweet that moment was when we shared that song. And I go into the office and go into get my eyes checked, and there he was in full-on color. And I had to look him in the eye and apologize and make an amends for the shitty things that I had done to him. And it was so freeing because I never wanted to do that again in a relationship ever. That's not the person I wanted to be, and I was able to let it go. And I want you to think about, for you, the people that you may have harmed and that you may still continue to harm, but you don't have the courage, or your ego is so big that you can't face the idea that you did something that hurt somebody, that you can't own it. And this is a really beautiful opportunity for humility and to allow grace to come in. What happens when I make amends is watching somebody shift their energy. When I say, I'm sorry I hurt you, I'm taking my ego out of it because I really am sorry. And then I say, you know, what I said to you was really mean. It was not my intention, but I can see how it hurt you. And I promise I will never do it again because it's not a loving thing for you or for me. And I hope you will forgive me. That's all you have to do. It seems simple, but I want you to think about somebody that you need to make an amends to, starting with yourself, about how unloving you are to yourself, how mean you are to yourself, and stop doing those mean things. Because if we start changing the way we see ourselves, then we start changing the way we see others as all doing the best we can. If you like this, follow me, make a comment below. Mwah.